She was only 11 years old. She still played with dolls. And yet, 2 young boys ended up dead. The police didn't believe it at first. The town refused to believe it. And even today, people still ask the same disturbing question. Was Mary Bell born a monster? Or did the world create one? That answer was hidden for decades, and we won't touch it until the very end. The town that didn't feel safe. In the summer of 1968, the city of Newcastle upon Tyne, England, looked peaceful on the surface. Kids played in the streets. Parents trusted their neighbors. Doors were rarely locked. But something felt off. Children started acting afraid. Parents noticed their sons coming home earlier than usual, and no one could explain why. Because the danger didn't look like danger. It looked like a child. A strange little girl. Mary Bell wasn't invisible, but she wasn't popular either. She was small for her age, quiet, but not shy. And teachers often described her as oddly emotionless. She had a best friend named Norma Bell, no relation. Together they wandered the neighborhood with no supervision. Mary's home life was complicated. Her mother, Betty Bell, struggled with mental health issues. Mary was neglected, sometimes abused, sometimes completely ignored. From a very young age, Mary learned one thing clearly. No one was coming to save her. The first signs no one took seriously. Before anyone died, the warnings were already there. Mary wrote disturbing notes and left them around abandoned buildings. One of them read something like, "I murder so that I may come back." Adults brushed it off as childish nonsense. Kids being weird. Kids being dramatic. No one imagined those words would soon mean something very real. The first death. On May 11th, 1968, a 4-year-old boy named Martin Brown was found dead in an abandoned house. At first, police thought it was an accident. No signs of forced entry, no adult suspects, no clear motive. The case was quietly closed. That mistake would haunt them. Mary at the funeral. Here's where things start getting unsettling. Mary Bell attended Martin Brown's funeral, not with sadness, not with fear. Witnesses later said she looked curious. She even told other children that she knew who did it. But again, no one listened. Because who suspects an 11-year-old girl? The second death changes everything. Just 2 months later, on July 31st, 1968, another child disappeared. 3-year-old Brian Howe. His body was found in a vacant lot. This time, police knew something was wrong. This wasn't an accident. This was intentional. And suddenly, all the strange behavior started to matter. The cracks in the story. When detectives began questioning local children, Mary didn't act like a witness. She acted like someone enjoying the attention. She corrected officers, volunteered details she wasn't asked for, even demonstrated actions that disturbed experienced investigators. And then, she slipped. Mary described things only the killer would know. That was the moment the room went silent. The arrest no one expected. When Mary Bell was arrested, the entire country was stunned. An 11-year-old, charged with manslaughter. Newspapers exploded. Public outrage followed. People didn't know who to hate more, Mary or the system that failed her. The trial that divided a nation. Mary's trial was unlike anything Britain had seen. Psychologists testified about her upbringing. Prosecutors focused on her actions. The public demanded punishment. But one question echoed through the courtroom. Did Mary understand what she was doing? She showed little emotion, no tears, no visible remorse. that terrified people more than anger ever could. The verdict. Mary Bell was found guilty of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. She was sentenced to detention, not prison. That decision angered many. People asked, was justice served? Was society being protected? Or was this sympathy misplaced? Life after the trial. Mary spent years in psychiatric institutions, away from the public, away from the press. She was eventually released under a new identity. Even today, her whereabouts are protected by law, which leads to another uncomfortable truth. The victims' families never got that kind of protection. Why this case still haunts people? Because Mary Bell forces us to confront questions we don't like. Can a child be truly evil? Where does responsibility begin? And how much blame belongs to environment versus choice? Most true crime stories are simple. This one isn't. So now we come back to the question we avoided from the beginning. Was Mary Bell born a monster, or was she made one? The truth is uncomfortable. Experts today agree on one thing. Mary Bell was not born evil. But she wasn't innocent either. She was a deeply damaged child, shaped by neglect, trauma, and a system that ignored warning signs until it was too late. Her story isn't about excusing what happened. It's about understanding how it happened. Because when society fails its most vulnerable children, the consequences don't stay quiet. Mary Bell's story isn't easy to hear. And honestly, it shouldn't be. Because the most frightening part of this case isn't just that a child committed terrible acts. It's that the warning signs were there. The neglect was visible. The system failed again and again. And by the time anyone truly paid attention, it was already too late. This case forces us to ask uncomfortable questions about responsibility, trauma, and how society treats its most vulnerable children. Questions that don't have simple answers. If stories like this matter to you, if you believe understanding the past can help prevent the future, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Here, we don't just tell crime stories, we dig into why they happened. More real criminal cases, more deep storytelling, more truth that people try to ignore. I'll see you in the next one.